Thank you for listening to Serves You Right. Today I'm talking to Stefano Catino, co-founder of the iconic Maybe Group and one of the top bartenders in Australia. So super fun conversation. I had a ton of fun. Without any further ado, here's Stefano, and thanks for listening.
Stefano, thanks for coming on today and coming to say hi to us. It serves you right.
Thank you for having me, Andrew. It's a pleasure.
So I wanted to start off by asking one question that'll help us get into your work and what you've done. What is your obsession with the word maybe? Because I see it all over all of your work. So
It's funny. It's an American story. It's an Italian American story.
okay.
It's based on the Sands Casino in Las Vegas. When the Red Pack was playing there, there used to be a billboard that used to say, Dean Martin, maybe Frank, maybe Sammy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it was on any given night, you could get the old Red Pack, or maybe you can just get Dean. But then maybe it really stuck into me because I was a big fan of those boys, those era. And they were very cool because they were the first Italian who kind of made it abroad, you know?
Got it.
And then I really like their, I know people talk to them about being like, womanizer or whatnot, but in fact they were very, like Frank Sinatra was a lot about like civil rights, being fair for African American, and they were just cool cats. And I really like that name, maybe Frank. And that was our first project. That's why I'm obsessed with the word maybe.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Frank Sinatra. That I didn't make that connection. I didn't dig that deep. I thought I'd just ask you. So okay.
Let's deep.
Oddly enough, it is not the first time Frank Sinatra has come up on the show. Eric Tukoski, the old brand rep for Jack Daniels, he always points, it was one of the big breakout points for Jack Daniels, just how much Frank Sinatra loved Jack Daniels. He really put it on the map. So kind of,
Yeah, it was crazy.
yeah, kind of funny. Talk to me. How did you end up? I believe it was at Venezia, Italy.
Yeah.
You come from Italy, you end up in Australia. How does one go through that journey to become one of the top 100 bartenders in the world? So, like, you kind of walk us through your evolution and how you got here?
Yeah, like I grew up in my dad's restaurant when I was a kid in the Italian Riviera. So I was always inside the restaurant. And then my older cousin opened up a bar in Vernazza. And then I started to work with them and I got fascinated. It's funny, my little town in Italy, there was a lot of culture about cocktail and Hemingway. Don't ask me why. But the bar I was working at was called the Blue Marlin, based on the Old Man and the Sea.
Mm,
So there was a lot of reference about Hemingway and drinking a daiquiri and a mojito and then the martini. So anyway, I started to fall in love with the bartending world. I was working in Italy for a while, and then I met a lot of tourists, a lot of people from the States, Australia, and funny enough, a guy who was an editor for the bar magazine from Australia, which is I think 25 years old now, came to holiday in Vernazza and he brought his little magazine. And I opened this magazine and all these bartenders were in it, and there was recipe history about Jerry Thomas, and and I got very interesting about Australia. I go like, oh look, they have like, so people like me can actually have a career, because in Italy it's not a career to be a bartender.
okay.
And that's why I moved down there. I came here, not down there because I'm here. I came here in holiday and I loved it. It's like, it's good weather, the espresso is good, the food is great. So I find a lot of similarity to my lifestyle in my little village in Italy. Here in Australia, people walk barefoot. And then I start to meet more people, and I got sucked into this world and I end up staying.
Sure. When was this? You
That
first
was
coming
into
over? Yeah.
the first time I came over was in 2006. That was in holiday. 2007 I came back because my curiosity started, and there was a lot of bar opening. There was a lot of people moving from London, a lot of bartender moving from the Atlantic, which was one of the Dick Bratzel playground. Then, 2008, I moved here for, to try to get a career.
Sure.
A
Sure.
lot of people from Italy move here to learn English, but I was already speaking English with the same accent probably as now.
Well, hey, your accent in English is a lot better than my Italian accent, so I'll give you props. So you show up, 2008, you are making the move. Do you have a job right away, or what does that transition look like? Like, I don't know what
But
immigration into Australia is like. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty fair. It's actually I like the immigration here because I mean I believe immigration is a big power for every country because immigrants bring a lot of hard work. I think Australia does it well. They give you 1 year of working holiday visa where
hmm,
you need to work. I think it was at the time 6 months per each employer. You couldn't stay more than 6 months for working for a person. But I came here initially in holiday, and then when I ran out of money, I started to look for a job.
fair, yeah.
I it's usually what happened. I started work. I had a few connection because of these people that I met in my during trips. I speak English, so I didn't have to be a barback. I could have been straight in the bar, which was lucky for me. I love barbecking. I mean, actually, I don't love barbecking, so
Sure,
it was good for me. I love chatting, so it was good for me to be in the bar. It was a high volume bar. We made a lot of cocktails, but I could speak to the people, make drinks, and that was this first step, and was a pretty popular bar at the time. Was a very famous nightclub with also a cocktail bar underneath,
so dancing
which
up
was a
top, cocktails
yeah,
underneath, sort of thing.
correct.
Okay,
So
cool.
the promotion was quick. I worked 3 months in the nightclub. In actually the nicest part was the privé. I don't know if you said that in the private part where people come and have a bit more.
Like, yeah, exclusive VIP section,
The
sort of
exclusive
thing.
VIP
Yeah,
section,
cool.
see, which wasn't, it was still high paced, but it wasn't like inside where the DJ were. And then from there, they moved me down to the restaurant cocktail bar, and it was good. And then soon after that, I got picked for another job, and then from there, I never stopped.
Sure, sure. Okay, yeah. Just curious, because I actually went through a phase of working in a like nightclub ish scene, and I actually loved it. I know there's a little something impersonal about the turn and burn nature of it, but like I feel like people that can survive in that sort of pressure, high volume environment, if you have a little bit of craft in you too, you can do really well in the bar scene. Like it develops your chops in a way nothing else does. I don't know what you think.
I agree. I agree. I completely agree. I think there is in any job, but if we're talking about our job in the bartending world, that gives you speed, gives you preparation, and gives you energy, makes you
Heads
be
up.
able to lift your heads up, look around,
Yeah.
have multiple orders. You don't want to make, one vodka soda and lime at a time, so you look around the room. I agree with you. It's good.
Yeah, because there's nothing worse than going to a bar, even if the cocktails are like world class and it's slow and you wait like 20 minutes for a drink. It's just like, what
That's
are we
bad.
doing here? Yeah. So okay, you bounced around a couple different bars. What was the name of that club? Do you remember?
Yeah, of course, of course. It was called Hugo's.
Hugo's. Okay.
Hugo's Bar Pizza. It was a pretty popular nightclub. I actually really like it because it felt not like a nightclub. It felt like a high energy cocktail bar. It was very popular. There was pizza,
Heck
which is
yeah.
funny.
I love it. Yeah. Nothing worse than getting hangry late at like 2 a.m. A couple
It
cocktails.
was,
Yeah. So
it's funny. This bar downstairs was, I find out this year at Tales of the Cocktail when I went to a seminar. It was one of the first bar in Australia in the 50 best when nobody was looking at the 50 best list because it was just something came out. But
okay.
if you look at the original 2000 and I don't know when 50 best list, Hugo's Bar Pizza was in the 50 best.
That's interesting. They won the award before it was so, like, renowned. It's just like, "Oh,
Yeah, they
okay,
were
cool."
in this list. Yeah, before the list became what it is now.
That's wild.
Because
Yeah. Who knew?
yeah,
And, like,
there's
a
a few
pizza
bar in
joint
Australia.
too. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, it was a pizza. It was a beautiful cocktail bar, a sexy pizza joint, I would say. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And so after that, you bounced around. You had 6 month limits, it sounds like, in the different
yeah.
places you were working. Walk us through how did you go from there? So now are you full on Australian citizen or how does that
No,
work?
no, no.
No? Okay.
Now or before? Now or
Now.
and now I'm Australian. Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you are so yeah, so help us bridge that gap from you're bouncing around,
From
just
there
got
to
there.
there.
Yeah. What happened next?
So after. yeah, after 6 months, I met a famous Italian bartender that was working here, famous for here because he was the guy who won the. He was keeping winning this bartender of the year in Australia, and he was a guy from Italy, Marco from Rome. And Marco was just opening a new bar, a cocktail bar, and he was building a little team of, say, of Italians. So it was me, another guy named Stefano, a few other guys. We started to work for him. This bar became popular. We won a couple of like local awards on Time Out, Best New Bar, whatever. And then from there, we started to work all together. I extended my visa. I went on a student visa, which is like you pay the school, you frequent the school 2 days a week, they extend your visa, you can still work and have rights.
You started learning so you could stay, kind of.
Yeah, learn and say, yeah, but this is what I was telling you about. Australia is smart, you know? So
Yeah.
you pay a visa, you pay the government, you keep working, you pay your taxes, you make your money. But compared to Europe at the time or Italy, here in a week I could make, if I was going to work a couple of events, because this guy Marco had an event company. So we were doing a bunch of off-site bar events, like at the Opera House, we were doing cocktail bar there, we were doing events on boats, a rich and famous house, so you can make a lot of money. So you can pay for the school, you can get rent, and you can work. And then I loved it, I had a good time. Then I decided to move to London because I wanted to learn a bit more about the cocktail world. And for a while, London was the capital.
Oh
So
yeah.
you want to go work in London because they say, that's where you really learn. And I did because I moved to London. I started to work for Match Group. Match Group at the time was where there was Match One, Match Two, Milk and Honey.
Yeah, some serious
There
names.
is serious competition as well. But also, you live in London, it's a bit grey. I wasn't used to. You don't make as much money as in Australia because it's more expensive.
And yeah, I mean, it makes living in New York look cheap, as far as I understand. Yeah.
I'll- this is like 20 years ago. So
If you've been enjoying this so far, please take a moment, hit that like button, subscribe, share with a friend. It'd mean the world to me. All right, that's enough. Back to the talk.
So I had to go back to Europe, and then I didn't like England so much, and I go like, shit, Australia is far, I don't have a visa. So with my now wife, we moved back to Italy, and we decided to stay in Italy for like summer until one day the phone rang, and it's the same guy, Marco, who told us that he was opening a new bar on an island, and it was fun
Heck
in
yeah.
Sydney. So we packed our bag and we moved back here in 2011 in November, and we started to work on this island. And then we did 3 summers there, 3 consecutive summer in this beautiful bar. We hosted a bunch of hospitality event, Bacardi Legacy. When they came to Australia, it was on the island. And through that process, when you work for 2 years for the same employee and your sponsor, you get the chance to apply for a permanent residence visa.
Cool, cool.
So 2 year, you pay your taxes, you work for the same employee, you prove that you're good, and then the government gives you a permanent residency, which then translate in an Australian citizenship after another year. And that's how I got my Australian citizenship, and I got to stay in the country.
You got to get the London out of your system too. It's like, all right,
Yeah,
tried
yeah,
it
yeah.
out.
Look,
Yeah, no, yeah. I've lived, I've visited larger cities. I've always lived in like medium sized places. I can't bring myself to move to a place with such a high cost of living, and I can only imagine like London just eats it up. I have a friend that lives in the UK, and it's rough going unless you've got some money connections.
it's a beautiful city, London, but you need to be. Every city is different. I like a medium. Sydney is medium size. It's a big city,
Uh huh.
but it feels more like, in a way.
Yeah. So
I mean,
you were at this island bar for a couple of years. Did Marco know that you were coming up and you were going to win Bartender of the Year in Australia at some point? Because I saw that you did that. Did he know you were coming for him?
No, no, no. We were like, I think he was more of a mentor.
Okay,
We were never like in competition. I think like he always was like kind of a little brother or somebody you want to grow in. And I didn't know at the time what I wanted to do. I really wanted to open my bar before I was 30, which didn't happen. And I see a lot of kids now say, I need to open my bar. And I go like, don't worry, like, you will open your own bar when you're ready.
sure.
But then, yeah, yeah, but then I was in a rush more than winning awards or something. I was in a rush to open my own bar. I had this dream of owning my own bar. I don't know. Because I come from a working class family. We all my family open restaurants or bar, and I really wanted to do it, but I was on the other side of the world. And then after working with Marco for a couple of years, I met Vince, which is my current business partner, and we found this pizza place. It was closing down, and like something happened with the taxation office, so they put a chain lock on it, and they were giving it away. Yeah, yeah,
They do that in
but
America too. Yeah, you
yeah,
stop paying your taxes.
yeah. But someone else, how do you say? Someone else bad day is somebody else good day.
Hmm.
So they were closed off, but all of a sudden create an opportunity for two young guy to have their first business. And so we walk into this place, we did some renovation with ourselves, put little amount of money, and we started Maybe Frank.
Maybe
Maybe
Frank.
Frank, first place. And Maybe Frank became popular and started to give us a big name in the city because we were offering something that a normal pizzeria wouldn't offer because pizzeria run by Italians, they were doing a decent pizza, Chianti wine, but there was no emphasis on cocktail. And we really put a big cocktail program in it. So that was the maybe effect. You know what I was saying you before? You come for Dean Martin, but you get maybe Frank, maybe Sammy.
Sure.
So people were coming for the pizza, but they didn't know they could have got more. So that's what happened.
Awesome, awesome. And so what year was this that opened up for you?
2015.
2015, 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
we're celebrating 10 years anniversary of our group, the Maybe group.
Sure, yeah. And so you go from that one spot, that first spot that's starting to get some popularity, and you start getting some recognition. Walk us through from there. You start getting all these awards. People start hearing about you. You got maybe Sammy that's coming up. Like how did
Yeah.
you get from just starting off and taking your first shot to where you are today? Like one of the top bartenders in Australia, you know, running kind of an empire.
No, no, Empire, I wish.
Sure.
But what was good is like when we opened Maybe Frank, we opened the original bartender that came down working with us was a guy named Andrea. It is a guy named Andrea who was at the time he just left the Artesian bar in London when Artesian won all these best bar in the world, and then the team all left at the same time. So I was lucky that this guy decided to come and work with us. And at the time, if you had a bartender from that team, everybody was curious to see what he could produce. And they were even more shocked that this guy decided to come and work in a pizza place rather than go work in one of the top cocktail bar in the city. You know? So when we opened Maybe Frank and people realized that our cocktail, our culture was good, and we started to get some recognition internationally through Tales of the Cocktail, put us in the map in the 10 best international restaurant bar. So a lot of people say, but why don't you guys just open a bar? And that's when we decided to open Maybe Sammy, because we had Maybe Frank. And the option, because we had a big poster in venue with the where the story came from. People say, okay, you have Maybe Frank, you should open a bar and call cocktail bar and call it Maybe Sammy, because you guys are so good at cocktail. So then we went to open Maybe Sammy, and Maybe Sammy opening team was another guy from Artesian, another guy who flew down from Savoy,
Names, yeah.
and and in Australia they never had, or for a while they never had the cocktail bar, hotel bar culture. So it was a shock because the service was beautiful. There was a lot of good bar, but they were kind of leaning into a more like easy style, whatever. And
Mm.
we came up, we put the jackets back on, we started to do martinis, classic cocktail, and we got a lot of attraction. And the luck was that because we were an international team, everyone around the world kind of show us their support, and they lift us to become one of the best bar in the world. And after that, win a series of awards that gave us a light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just upwards from there.
Luck.
Yeah. Well, the luck of being the first and doing something well, then clearly in a time and place that needed or wanted it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's awesome.
Combination.
Yeah.
You need to have a lot of luck and a lot of people at the right time, but you also need to have good intention in what you're doing.
Mhm.
So you don't open a bar because you want to hit a list or you want to do this. You open something because, first of all, it's a business, so you need to make money. And that's taught by, the show business theory. There is a show and business. But then also you need to be lucky because everything has to work. But if you do something you really like and something you believe in, good things come to you, usually.
Usually, yeah. Most people get what they deserve in a long enough time horizon, I think. So, how do you attract these people, these renowned bartenders from the Savoy, from Artesian? Like, are they reaching out to you? Do you have a way that you are putting yourself out there? Like, because talent is the one thing that's always hardest, even in my local restaurant, to find, you know?
Yeah, you know what I think? I think people looking for freedom and more than money because we couldn't offer bigger salary, but we could offer creativity and freedom. So when you offer people the possibility to feel their own bosses and to pursue their dream while they pursue your dream, I think that's when you can attract people. We've always attracted people like that, and we still attract people like that because they want to work for us because they see it in a place where a good idea can come up, fun way of working together, feeling like part of a family. And I hear a lot of conversation now. Don't get fooled by the boss who tell you we're a family, we're not a family. But I disagree with that. There is a concept that you're all together, and that's a job, as I was telling you before. We are there purely to make money
Hmm.
to pay our bills. That's the only mission. But while we do that, we can have a good time. So if you build yourself a team and people to have a good time, you attract more people, and more people come to you because they see that people want to stay and work with you. So if you're a guy, you go like, oh, this guy's been working at maybe Sammy for 3 years. Can't be that bad. I want to
Yeah,
try.
yeah. That's a cool
There is
point.
some perks. You can be, we were never like the boss who check on the camera at night what's going on in the bar. We're always more relaxed. We trust people because if you trust people, people trust you. And then they get scared, not because they are scared to disappoint you. I don't
Yeah.
know if that makes sense,
No,
but you
that
know what I'm trying to.
no, if you extend that first gesture of trust, you usually get back what you give out, I feel like. And if you say, "Okay, you're an adult, I trust you," then yeah, trust first. Don't check the camera. No.
No, no, no. But
Yeah.
trust is, yeah, the cameras. There is a lot of people who try to screw you. You need to have a lot of transparency, clear vision,
Mhm.
and let honestly people make their own mistake.
Sure.
If they're mistake, involuntary, because they will always make mistake. But then you need to be there for them. I think we were lucky in that way. We created that sense of freedom, but at the same time, a good business that you want to
Sure.
work in.
No, and I like you have zero ambiguity when it comes to we are a business that makes money. And having no ambiguity when it comes to the like this is the line we cannot cross. Up to this, if you do an unintentional error, you mess up a cocktail and fix it, that sort of thing. Sure, but yeah, we have to make money.
But that's the only way that you can have. Then you can buy them a Rotova, you can buy a
Exactly.
better glass,
Yeah.
you can buy the expensive whiskey, the weird tequila. But to buy the weird tequila and expensive whiskey, you need to sell a lot of average vodka and normal gin.
Welcome.
You know what I mean? The
Oh,
mission
sure.
has to be very clear. You can have everything you want
Yes.
if you're stabilized as an entity,
Okay.
and that's the only game. But
That's
if you
that is it,
believe
the
that
whole game.
that's your game. But if you say, yeah, we're gonna be the most innovative place, yeah, we're not gonna do this. No,
Yeah.
let's stabilize. Let's make sure we are good, and then if we're good, then we can play, we can have fun, we can do a lot of other things,
Sure.
you know?
And just to get in the weeds in this a little bit, because I actually am currently looking for a new server and bartender. When you have people come and try to work at one of your spots, how do you personally interview them? Do you have a team of managers? How do you work that?
Yeah. When I was working there all the time, I always do the interview. But I always say also, this is my other theory. I'm not a maybe Sammy every night.
Hmm.
So the manager interview the people because they have to spend 4 or 5 days a week with this guy or this girl.
Yeah.
So they need to like each other. Not just the guy who manages, also the person who's getting the job. You know, one of the thing I always say, let's hope we like you and let's hope you like us.
Sure. Sure.
But they need to interview the person because it's they need to spend at least 8 hours a day and at least 4 or 5 days a week together.
Mm. Yeah. And if it doesn't click, you can usually feel it almost like a few minutes in. It just
Correct.
yeah. So
But it's not it has to be reciprocal.
sure. So you mentioned you're not in the day to day every day at these restaurants. What does a day in your life look like now? Now that you have a couple of these things going, like what are you focused on?
No, I always focus on my team. I always talk to my team all day, every day. They probably in Australia they have a thing now where you can. They say that after hour you don't have to answer to your boss anymore.
Mm,
It's legal to switch off. And we always make a joke that in the Maybe group is very hard because I always call my managers. I always check on them.
mhm.
So that's my way to. And I go in venue. I was in venue tonight before coming here.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, like it's different. The beginning of the week is more like admin,
Mm,
meetings, events, what's going on. Like we opening a new venue, what we doing with the menu, and then the midweek is dedicated maybe more to creativity, talking about the new menu or the new project or whatever. And then towards the end of the week is the best because it's just work.
that's money.
So it's
Yeah,
just venue.
exactly.
Yeah, the best. Going into venue, looking after your customer. I think it's important for an owner to be around this venue because people want to see you,
Mhm.
and also your staff want to see you because maybe they wanted to tell you something, they want to check something with you. And I'm not talking about manager, I'm talking about everybody, and you can sense the room when you're there. But, I have 5 venues, easy for me because they're all like walking distance.
Mm,
It's
okay.
harder when I admire some people that open many venues around the world or around one country
Yeah,
because
a flight
I don't
away.
know what's their,
Sure.
yeah, I don't know what,
Trust and probably good
yeah,
managers. Oh, okay.
good manager, yeah.
So what have we not covered about your trajectory that we'd be remiss? Did we hit some of the main points?
Yeah, you did them all. We did that. We had COVID, but that was another
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
Yeah, it was a big part of our, society in the last, 5 years because it created a fake reality because, we got a lot of help in general, like because business were all otherwise closing down. During that time, we opened a cocktail business, a bottle cocktail business, which is still going, and was probably the only one left during that time.
mm,
But we really put emphasis on doing bottle cocktail for home. Saved our business because we would have closed down if we didn't have that.
sure.
So that
Nightclubs.
was part of the trust.
Yeah, bars were not considered essential businesses here either. Yes, yeah,
See, that's like it was a big one because we are the first one to suffer. Anything happen in the society, the bar is the first one who gets affected.
sure. Which, interestingly enough, happened right as people were most desperate to have a drink. So, yeah, it was a weird time for sure. So, my listeners in because a large proportion of the people that listen to this podcast are in America. What might Americans not know about the bar scene in Australia? Is it different? Have you spent much time in America? Just curious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Mainly in California, New York, and New Orleans,
Yes, the trifecta for industry
trifecta
professionals.
for the industry. I would have loved to go. I've been to other part of America. I went to Nevada, Arizona,
Mhm.
Maine, but I always go to a bar. I think I think the cocktail is an American thing. Is like pasta is Italian. Cocktail is an American thing, City like London, New York, they really elevated it. But Australia has a very strong cocktail culture. I think Americans that would come down here, especially in the two main city like Melbourne and Sydney, they will really find great drinks. I mean, you will never have a bad Negroni.
Good. Yeah. You
Margaritas,
should never have a bad Negroni, just as a side note.
yeah,
But
that's true. But there was a moment there was a lot of them, especially in my country where they invented them. But now it's a safe place. There is a lot of bars. A lot of them are inspired by Americans, They look at, the history or, there is saloon type bar, there is whiskey bar, there is dive bar. But you would be surprised in the ingredients here are crazy because they're so different.
okay.
They're so fresh as well. There is a lot of tropical fruits. There is a lot of weird stuff that uh, the original owner of the land, the Aboriginal, used to cultivate, and now somehow are using some of the drinks. There is a spectacular food scene because I'm sure you have like cover restaurant as well.
Hmm.
Restaurant quality in Sydney and Melbourne is very high
Top
level.
notch. That's cool.
Yeah, and coffee is a coffee culture in this country is beyond belief.
Hmm.
Has to be one of the top three in the world. You don't get a bad coffee in Sydney or Melbourne.
Awesome. Yeah. So it sounds like a really, really cool spot for someone who's looking to drink well and eat well and live the high
Yeah,
life. Cool.
and especially with the American dollar being so high compared to Australian dollar, is also
It's
cheap.
yeah, that's awesome. I always would love when Australians would come through my bar in Santa Fe. Like because I don't know what it is. They just love having fun. They love to tip well and they were hidden for a good time. And they always knew what they were looking for, like nice drinks, fun drinks. So it was always
That's it.
some of my favorite memories. If we were to investigate your drink making style, are there some specific drinks that you're known for? Do you have a particular style you excel at? I know that sometimes
No,
it's
I
like
was
which of the childs do you like the most?
okay. No, I'm very look. My favorite drink is an americano.
Okay.
Very easy. So I like vermouth. I like my martinis. I always played when I was more behind the bar. I always play more with the ideas. I like. It's funny, but I will never make a drink until I know a name of the drink. Like I need to
Okay.
start from the name, like that weird guy. And when I'm with my team, we're working on drinks together. I love classic. I always ask them, doesn't matter if we have a signature list for each of the new venue, let's find some classic that represent this moment or what was happening in those days. Now we're doing an Italian bar and I'm deep diving into what were the famous drink in Italy in the 70s and the 80s,
Mm,
you know,
yeah, that's
because I
cool.
wanted to know.
Yeah.
But and then they do the play on the modern stuff, the weird ingredients, and
Yeah.
more. But I'm more on that territory. I like to. I I try all the drinks with them, work all together. Yeah, but I'm more on the idea side. I like to see. I need to write things down. I
Sure.
need to see the name coming down. I
Mhm.
have a geometrical view about drinks into a menu. Into like I need to see stuff, how they sound, how they look. I'm obsessed with that, and
Yeah.
how people cut fruits in drinks.
And I feel like you don't really know what the menu is until you have something written or like that you can look at because
Yeah,
you're just spitballing ideas and then you realize later, oh, our top 3 are all rum based. Like you start realizing that you need some diversity and you've like I've over indexed on tequila, like something like that.
yeah. Now everybody does because that's what all the brand
It's
wants,
hot, yeah.
especially in this country. Every brand say, "Can you put a tequila drink? Can you put a tequila drink? Can you put a tequila drink?" Because that's what honestly in this country there was the espresso martini moment,
Oh
and
yeah.
now everyone is drinking margaritas.
Yeah,
Like to I don't even know if people are drinking something else anymore.
sure.
It's all tequila, 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 tequila.
Yeah. It's funny how those things happen because the same wave is happening here, just like a little delayed. It's just, yeah. Tequila did something like a crazy, I think it was 2 or 3 years. It was like 300% growth, which,
Yeah,
yeah, which sucks.
makes sense.
Tequila it takes like 8 years to reach maturation. Like, there's no rushing that along. So it's just prices are going up. But if you're getting the good stuff, yeah.
Yeah, if you're getting the good stuff, correct.
Yeah. No, I think that's interesting. I've found that a lot of people as they go on and they get more experience, do tend to gravitate more to the classic cocktails. Do you find like that's kind of, like when I was a younger bartender, when I've seen younger bartenders, they're all looking for crazy innovative flavors and weird mishmatches, and like, I just give me a Negroni, give me a Manhattan, like I'm going to be happy. And like spirits heavy classic cocktails is where I see a lot of people go. Does that match your opinion or?
Yeah, it matches, and I see around the world the bar that are popular now, they're going back to classic drink and simple drink.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at my favorite bar at the moment are Bar Leone in Hong Kong, Caretaker Cottage in Melbourne. Even if you look when in America, no, no, I see a few bar opening this year. They're very simple to drink. People want to understand what they're drinking. I also love the complexity of some bartenders, but there is just a few in the world, maybe five, who can make this drink and make them super tasty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a craft for everybody. It's not because you write a weird ingredient the drink is necessarily good, but you can taste a good Manhattan, a good Negroni, a good, even a Garibaldi, a Martini. So
Sure.
yeah, I agree with you. I think we are all going back to simple, but also the customer. They know the drinks now. Before we need to 20 years ago, they didn't know what a gimlet was, what a Negroni
What do
was,
you mean
the
aviation?
five
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now they know, so they go straight to it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to tell them you're drinking a Negroni, you're drinking a Manhattan style. They know, they can recognize them. Americans did before than the rest of the world because cocktails are part of your DNA.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. I'm guessing your spots also do more than cocktails. Do you have beer, wine, that sort of thing? I'm guessing
Yeah,
so
of
much wine
course.
in Australia, you'd kind of have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a lot of wine, a
Yeah.
lot of good wine. We don't sell much wine. We pretty much sell 80% cocktail. We do have wine,
Sure.
and there is a lot of people sell wine. A lot of restaurants here are great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, actually, yeah, I tend to drink more wine in a restaurant myself, but I notice that people usually go to cocktails, bottle of wine, and then digestive. Like people still love your amaros or
Yeah.
finishing the night with something, and after dinner. But yeah, there is in the restaurant world, there is definitely that two cocktail wine mentality
Yeah.
after dinner.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, I feel like Australia did such a good job of promoting its like value brands that I still find that when I talk to people, they don't realize the breadth and range of even like high end offerings. There's every from, of course, there's the high octane Shiraz out there, but like you can find some world class, cool climate, Riesling, Chardonnay. Like there's a lot there. Like,
Yeah,
the more I learn about us,
and it's getting better and better every year. Eh? The wine is
yeah, exactly. It's not just all Yellowtail, but
no,
PSA,
we
yeah.
don't even see that one doesn't exist.
I know they send that
You
all to
cannot
us. That's
find
the
it.
problem. Yeah.
You can't find it here. It's something is funny. You can find it that one, and you cannot find that beer, the XXXX.
Hmm.
Like I never see it. They have triple X, 4X. You find in America, you don't find it here.
Yeah. That's
When I came 20 years ago, the wine also was very sugary. I couldn't finish it always, but now they really changing. The winemaker are doing a fantastic job.
yeah. I remember I saw statistics. It was Guild of Psalms had it on their Australian study guide that the Australian wine, like I forget the governing body's name, but they had a estimate and they wanted to reach exports by some like insanely high figure by 2025 back in the day, and they reached it like in 3 years. And it was like 2015. So it was one of those things where like I think the volume and intensity of exports even exceeded Australia's like wildest dreams back in the day. So um you can't export cocktails, unfortunately. Not yet.
They
I
do
guess you
do good
can now that you're
gins
bottling
now.
them. Yeah.
No, but they have a good gin distillery, good whiskey distillery.
Yeah.
The coffee, good coffee liquor, which is just massive now in America.
Mhm.
The coffee liquor they made in Sydney, Mr. Black, it's all over the states now
That's
because
you. Oh, I have that in my bar. How funny. Halfway around the
that's
world,
made
down the street.
2 hours from here.
Oh, okay. Well, a little bit more than down the street.
Yeah, no, no, it's because it's up the coast, but
Sure.
it was made in a beautiful place, and it's a good representation of Australia because it's great coffee in a liquor.
Is there
Yeah.
anything about the scene over there that bothers you at the moment? Anything, any trends that are worrisome or you're not
You
a big
know
fan of?
what bothers me is when people I like I don't want to say that this word. I don't know what to say. I like not clean, but I like cocktails or drink clean. You can be a dive bar, you can be, but you need to respect the craft of making cocktail.
Mhm.
They always tell us wash your hand, make cocktail clean. I hate when I see cocktail that look dirty or with too much garnish on top, with stuff inside.
I'm
You
picturing a
know?
margarita overfilled that had salt and the salt running down and like a sticky glass.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
that what bothers me. Or a
Sure.
martini with 20 olives or this stuff. I like to see. I don't care which drink. I love to look at other people drink, and I get happy when people do good job. They work clean. I have a problem. I like to see that. So that what bothers me is when I see that the craft is treated like, you know. I love punk. That was my favorite thing.
Mhm.
Not punk drink in a way. I don't know what to say that.
Sure. Yeah. Even in a dive bar, there's a certain ability and service that like I mean, honestly, I've been in there's a dive bar in the Santa Fe called the Matador, and I probably lived there when I was there. I went to college out there. And there were bartenders that did their, shot of whiskey and PBR, and they did it like they kept up, they were pleasant. If you asked for a mixed cocktail, they didn't have all the ingredients, but they try to make you something, like they just did it well. And like you can tell
That's
that
what I mean.
versus a place that just like they just don't
That's the
care?
thing.
Yeah,
I like that. And the beer has to be cold. You don't have to give me a glass. Is it cold? That matters.
exactly.
Little details.
Yeah, I love that. No, there's definitely that. You can also even extending it beyond the drinks. You can walk into a bar that has a moderate amount of business, and I think you can pretty instantaneously tell the abilities of the bartender based on the cleanliness of the bar. Because there are people that clean as they go and they just have it under control, and there are people that just do not. And I've worked with both, and yes, you can tell very quickly.
Yeah, and I say it can be a dive bar. You can have a dive bar and be a very efficient dive bar with simple drink. But you always squeeze a lemon inside or a lime or put
Mhm.
a cherry. But clean as you go. Yeah, I'm a bit of that style.
Sure.
So
Awesome.
I get.
Stefano, what should we look for from you in the future? Do you have any big plans or anything those listening should try and keep an eye out for?
Yeah, we're doing a couple of good fun projects this summer. We are moving our tequila bar to a new location in Sydney, which is we have a tequila bar, one tequila bar of the year in Australia, which we really love. It's called El Primo Sanchez, and we are moving in into a beautiful new space, which was an old distillery. So it's gonna be bigger. We're gonna have more activation, and then we're opening a couple of new bar, one Italian bar and one like a Riviera style bar in the next couple of months, which is very exciting and very stressful. That's why I'm up late and I don't mind. But yeah, this is what we're doing. And then every year we held this maybe cocktail festival where we invite a bunch of bartenders from all over the world to Sydney. And we've been doing that for the last 3 years. And we're probably going to try to do it again this year around April.
That's awesome.
So we invite everyone to come because it's a good way to spend some time in Sydney, see all the Sydney hospitality has to offer.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like when you go to Tales of the Cocktail, where you know everybody around the street because there's going to be a lot of international guests drinking cocktail, making cocktail.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a good excuse to come down to Australia.
Yeah, if it's like Tails too, you just like get the liver ready. It's always a
Tales is
marathon,
beyond.
not a sprint. Yeah.
Yeah. Tales is a different beast. I'm just saying that to give you a bit of an idea. But yeah, we like to work with the community and just to try to bring cool people down here so that other people can see them, get inspired, learn, because not everybody has the chance to travel the world and go see other places or even be on a podcast with somebody from the other side of the world.
Yeah.
It's great,
2025. That's great.
because it's a great thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So in April, usually we're in April, just so I know.
Oh, usually we try to do, it depends where Easter falls because we try to go
Got it.
away from Easter. So if Easter comes early, we wait a week after Easter. People come back to the city and we do the festival. Or we try to do 2 weeks before Easter because there is a bit of energy and then, you know,
The holiday after, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
The holiday is good because so we can take a break as well.
hmm Well,
But yeah, usually we hold it in April.
in my head, my birthday and my anniversary is at the end of April. That's why I was like, maybe I could try to find a way, but yeah,
You can always come to Australia. There is
it's
always
always
be a
there.
place for you.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you're ever in Omaha, Nebraska, let me know.
You
It's
never know.
right in the middle. That's why most people end up going through it. So
But yeah, but you never know. Last year when I came to Tales of the Cocktail, there was the big plane strike where everybody's plane was lost, and I
yeah, yeah.
and I had to drive from Atlanta all the way to New Orleans, and I went to places that I never thought I will be in my life.
Oh yeah.
Alabama, Illinois,
Yeah.
wherever it was. It's
I
crazy.
Driving through Alabama, I wish if we had talked before this, some of the best fried chicken you'll ever get, like
I
random
see.
gas stations in Alabama. And like, yeah, me and my wife used to go to the beach in Alabama. It's actually like a little, people don't know about it. It's still kind of under the radar and it's
Don't
beautiful.
say it. Don't say it.
No, yeah, what more people should know. Yeah. Where could someone listening follow you, or where do you put out information on the internet if someone was interested in seeing what you do and all that?
Yeah. You mean on the
Yeah.
like?
Do you have a website? Do you mostly post on Instagram? Like, what?
No, we mostly post on Instagram, but we have a website. We have the Maybe Sammy Cocktail Festival,
Okay.
which will be updated soon with the date. We have the Maybe Group, which is the website with all our bars and new projects, and our Instagram, my personal Instagram, but the company Instagram where we always post. We post so much on Instagram
Yeah.
or any social media because it's the only way to get,
If you have
people to know what you're doing.
if you have a beautiful bar, beautiful bars, beautiful cocktails, it's like it's made for it, you know? So, yeah. Awesome. For those of you listening at home or in your cars, if you didn't write that down, don't worry. I'll have all those in the show notes. Stefano, one of the best bartenders in Australia, if not the world. Thanks for joining us today. Yes.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank
At
you for having
midnight
me.
your time. What a time difference. It was a pleasure.
Good. That was all mine. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you again for listening. If you have not, please like, subscribe, and also leave a comment on this show. Every interaction is really, really appreciated. I respond personally to every message, comment I get. Episodes of this show come out every Tuesday, every week. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.